What's good? It's your boy TheCzarr, all rights reserved, coming to you with another educational video. Yesterday we talked about credit cards, and I explained to you, don't throw away the letters for credit that you receive. Always keep them, because what they're doing is doing soft pulls. So now we're going to get to the idea of credit scores. The ideological credit score that you're looking for. Okay, let's get into it. Now, there are a lot of businesses, and I fell victim to them. I can tell you this, that tell you that working with your credit, they can still get loans and things for you pending a low score. This is true and it's false. Let me explain it to you. The reason it's true is because it's also pending your credit history. There are a few that will literally help you out pending your credit history, your payments and things, but that's being you already settled a lot of the debt you're in. Let alone if your credit score is low, you haven't settled the debt you're in. You get what I'm saying? Your credit score is still low. So here's what you want to do. You want to aim for a credit score of 650 or better. You never want your credit score to fall below 650. Here's why. When you're going to credit card union, so say I'm going to my normal credit union, what the credit union is going to do is they're going to look up, when you have a 650, that's good, because 650 is basically you're on the route to doing well. 650, think of that as the median score, okay? If you're under 650, you're below average all day, okay? The minimum for most business loans will be about 660. Even if you're not starting a business, you want to look at it as if you're going to get a business loan. That is key. You have to understand that perception, because even if you're not in business, you want to be viable when going to get a mortgage loan or some type of loan. And here's the thing. There's FHA loans, USDA loans. There's a couple types of programs aside from that. We will get into all of that, I promise. But I'm trying to prep your mind for you to be viable. So if you're around 18, because what happened was before I went to college, I had over a 700. I was working with credit and things, making payments and stuff. If you're going to get into college and you have payments you have to make, do not miss them. So don't accept making payments that you can't pay back. Do not do that. Yes, you want an education. Yes, you want to be in good standing. Do not take up any payments that could endanger this. I am promising you, you will regret it later. Don't do it. Always make sure that your payments make sense, and make sure everything is within a viable nature when dealing with payments. Credit scores that you want to have, you want a 700 or better at all times. There will be times you get whittled down to a 650. You'll have to eat that. But do not let it fall below 650. I promise you, you will have a world of trouble when you get out of school. You see, these things you will not learn in school. They don't teach you this. They never teach you this. I don't know why. I don't know what the reasoning behind is. There is no class I've ever been to on my way to the bachelor's I achieved where they taught about credit. You don't want to get in that situation. We'll talk about the type of organizations you can make, but as far as your credit score, you never want it to be below 650. You don't, because that automatically opts you out for a lot of different things, let alone you will stop receiving those credit card letters. You will. You need 650 or better to receive that. So at the least, you need 650 or better when you're dealing with a mortgage, when something else, because you want to get the best rates. We'll chat about down payments and different things and who to deal with and who not to deal with. Shady behavior. I dealt with shady behavior with brokers. So I can give you that type of information. That's very viable. And we will get into detail about that. It is the certain behaviors and things where you demand more for the money and the opportunity you're taking at hand and getting a loan or whatever it is you're applying for. 650 or better. Keep that in your mind. The moment you're getting around a 670, 680 from a high 700 plus that you're dealing with, you immediately want to get help to settle those debts. That is why I say don't go into payment, don't go into any level of debt that might endanger this. 650 or better is always what it needs to be. This is not something that I'm presuming, I'm handing out. I'm telling you, if you want your credit scores and your credit card to work for you and you not work for it, you do not want to fall below this. The moment you fall below it, you'll stop receiving those letters. And if you are receiving them, they're going to be critical type letters that you're receiving, which means that I'm receiving bottom of the barrel cards in order to get me back up to that 650 or better. I'm telling you this because no one ever told me this. I never learned this. So if you're 18 or older and your credit score is a 650, most of you in our day and age haven't used credit because get credit cards. That's the first thing you want to do. Never fear getting a credit card. So watch the first video about credit cards. Get a credit card, okay? Literally get your credit card. Start spending for little things after you read what it is. And after you're doing this, keep it below 10%. I don't care if you have 5 or 6 credit cards. Keep them all below 10%. You will be just fine. Going into the next month, you will be fine. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to leave a balance on under 10%, okay. If you're going to pay it off, make sure they report it. There are some credit card companies that do not report if you pay it off. Make sure they're going to report it every single month. That's key. And your score, keep it 650 or better. Best yet, you should always be working on doing it. Next thing is never go without a credit card. Credit card utilization is 30% of your overall score. Do not go without a credit card. I don't care what anyone tells you. Do not go without a credit card. If someone is to take your credit card or do something, report it immediately. Report them. You see, when you have thieves looking for credit cards, it's because they're not educated on how to deal with their own credit, so they're ready to ruin someone else's. That's a federal offense. Handle it accordingly. Do not let someone taking your credit card go like a joke. Even with the debit card, but a credit card more so because you carry on that debt. And that's a critical offense. That's how serious your credit is. Don't ever play around with your credit. Don't ever go without a credit card. Don't ever think that, oh, I could do it without it. If you want to be relaxed and live the American dream, building your credit is the first step. It really is. Having good credit is critical. It really is. Doing things you need to do with your credit is critical. It really is. I'm speaking this because I have a growing population of 18 to 25. You need to understand this. You're probably in school, going to your university like, oh, I'm going to get my bachelor's degree, this, and this. I already got the associates and the bachelor's, and I'm in the midst of preparing for the master's. I know what you need. I know what you're going through. I know what you're going to do. I succeeded just like you're going to. But what you're not going to learn, and I went to one of the top 50 schools of business in my state. I'm telling you, you're not going to learn about credit. That's why I'm telling you, it's everything. Credit is the difference between you putting your feet up and then you struggling when you already get your education. I'm educating you because I lost out in that at one point, but when I learned it, I worked on it. So I need you guys to do the same. Before, if you haven't gotten any credit, today, go get credit cards. Also, dealing with your credit score. Do not be afraid to take out a card. I had a GameStop credit card. It's in great standing. That lasts on my credit, and that is a show. When they go on, they see I kept my GameStop credit card good. They love it. Never be scared to get a card somewhere if you have a high credit. So if I get a credit card from my bank, the next thing I want to do is get it from Best Buy. This is going to help. If I shop at Best Buy normally, this is going to help you to increase your credit score very readily. Make sure they report it. That's the number one part that I want to add. Make sure they report your scores monthly. If you don't see the report come up, you got to say something. You got to say something. This is another educational video. I have 2 more for you today. I'm going to help you get into good business standing If you are a student, doesn't matter your age. If you're in your mid 30s, wherever you may be, late 40s to 50s, I'm going to give you the information you need to know. I know you guys search up these videos. They blatantly just kind of dance around sometimes. I'm blatantly going to tell you what you need to do because I know what it took me. I know what it's going to take you. Thank you for rocking with me. More on the way today, as we always rock. It is all rights reserved. Increase that credit score 650 or better.